Timekeepers to provide speakers with signals depicting how long they've spoken. Pays $0 an hour. Good for resume. I think I could do that. I mean, all you gotta do is look at a watch and throw up colored paint sticks from time to time, and heck, I do half of that anyways. What could be so difficult about this job? What could possibly go wrong? How could I have let this happen? To atone for my crimes from starting the apocalypse, causing World Wars III, IV, and V, as well as causing the death of several million species of grass, I have been given two options. Either I get the chair, or I do approximately 5 to 7 minutes of community service. I obviously went with the latter. In a twist of cruel and unusual punishment, I was given the delegation of talking about the very role that got us into this mess in the first place, the Timekeeper. Now, the Timekeeper is one of the most important roles in Speakers League. It obviously provides signals. I said, can you not do that, please? It provides speakers with signals depicting how long they have spoken, obviously. And each segment of the meeting, impromptu speaker and evaluator, has different timings and eligibility requirements for them all. I'm sure you are all aware of the timing for impromptu, so I'm going to skip that and instead say the timing for speeches, since no one ever seems to say that, and I can't quite tell why. Timing for speeches varies depending on the speech. There are some that are 4 to 6, there are some that are 6.5 to 7.5. There are some that the speaker can manually adjust, but the general consensus is that speeches last approximately 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes with the green eligibility marker, then at 6 minutes the yellow signal, and at 7 minutes the red signal. 7.5 minutes, of course, is the bell. The Timekeeper makes it a point to always sit directly across from the lectern or as close to that position as possible. The Timekeeper is also, of course, in charge of counting eligibility. This ties into the sort of timing earlier. If the speaker makes it to the green signal, congratulations, they're eligible to be voted for, unless they're Jane or I. Sad times. Thank you. Thank you, antivirus protection. Very cool. Timekeeping tips and tricks. There are a lot of numerous little things. Timekeeping is fundamentally the most simple role you could do. However, again, as I said earlier, this is one of, if not the most important role in all of Speakers League, aside from, of course, the speaker itself. In fact, if you were to remove one role from Speakers League, you could do it with any role aside from two, the speaker and the Timekeeper. The club could still theoretically function without any of the other roles. Number one for timekeeping tips and tricks, you gotta start when the speaker starts clearly speaking. There are some instances when the timekeeper really doesn't know when to start the timer. For example, when a speaker starts up and says, or when they ask the impromptu master, could you please repeat the question? Be discreet about raising or lowering signals. This is kind of a given. There really shouldn't be any fanfare as to, you made it to the green signal! Congratulations! There also shouldn't be any fanfare or sonic drowning music when you hear, when the red signal comes up. It's like, oh no, time's ticking, better go faster, you're gonna get belled. Number 3, don't wave the paddle around. You're going to want to try and keep the paddle as straight and upright as possible. The paddle should be visible from most, if not all, angles. One way to help with this is to make sure the center of the paddle is about level with the top of your head. You should be holding it up nice and high. If you have any sort of problems, the stopwatch doesn't start, or you need to go to the bathroom or anything like that, missed a signal perhaps, try to make as little of a disturbance as possible. Just try and estimate how much time you lost, and if the stopwatch isn't starting, you can ask any one of our other members who owns a watch, myself, Dexter, I saw Chloe had a watch. You can ask them exactly how long they missed, or you can ask them to start a timer as well. And finally, when necessary, hand off materials to the nearest person. In the case of you are not the timekeeper and you're arriving late to the meeting, as I did, and see there are open seats on either side of the timekeeper, feel free to take the spot next to them, as you will most likely receive the materials, so the timekeeper doesn't have to reach all the way across to whoever the nearest person is. And of course, in the case that the timekeeper needs to answer an impromptu question or go to the bathroom, there's someone right there next to them that they can just pass it off to wordlessly. Alright, that about concludes it for my time in the timekeeping spotlight. I have served my 5 to 7 minutes of community service, and I hope to not start this again. Wordmaster. Seems easy enough. All you have to do is pick some abstruse word like hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia, and we should be good, right? I hopefully won't cause an apocalypse again. Thank you.